So what's going on, everybody? My name's Theo Graham. I started with Herbalife in January of 2014. Before Herbalife, I was a former Division I college athlete, graduated, got a full-time teaching position, and just being in the classroom, and I was working out every single day. I started becoming happy with where I was, my station in life, and I started becoming happy with what I saw in the mirror. And I decided to make a change, right? So I started working out every single day at 5 a.m. I was gaining excess gut. I finally hit up my sponsor, and I got started with Herbalife. In 5 weeks, I dropped 6 inches off my waist, and I gained 29 pounds. But at the same time, I started the business out of necessity. I didn't really have the money to pay for the products, and I told him that, and he was like, no problem. I can show you how to make the money, so just bring me a couple of friends. I brought on 3 people. With the money I made with those 3 people, I was able to pay for my products. In 6 days, 6 days later, after I got started, I went to my first event. Actually, 3 days after that, went to my first event, which was a success training seminar. Y'all, I don't remember the speaker. I don't remember a lot about the event. All I remember, there was a bunch of people losing weight and getting good health results. And there was this one kid that was 15 years old that made $3,000 a month before. And I was like, yo, if this kid can make $3,000, I can make $3,000. So I started hitting up everybody I could in my phone. I made a list, like I said, in booklet number 1. And I just started contacting everybody, just telling them what I was doing, asked if they knew anybody who was interested, asking them if they were interested. In 6 days, I got 18 clients. I made $1,183. And then I went on to, continue to do the same thing. I had 2 security jobs at the time on top of my teaching position, which I quit those. And then the next month, part-time, made $2,000. And I set a goal. I was like, I want to leave my job, but I need to make sure I'm making the right amount of money. So I was like, I need to double my teaching income before I leave my job. In 5 months, I doubled my teaching income, and I left my job, and I've been working from the house ever since. And it's crazy. Like recently, like you guys know, just had, he's a 5-month-old. So it's like I went from a full-time Herbalife distributor to a part-time Herbalife distributor, because having an infant is a full-time job. But that joint is kind of crazy. It's like I thought I was still full-time until one day I was like, I'm no longer full-time. This kid is like taking up everything. So you guys, like I said, this focus group call is really going to be every single month and focused on an overall theme, which this month, like I said, is retention. A couple things I wanted to go over first on the call was results, right? So everybody on this call has amazing results, which I'm really, really proud of. Nika remembers there was times where like I've called my own distributors out about the results. So I'm really proud of you guys with being able to maintain and even push for greater results during this season, because it's going to show in the upcoming year. People are going to remember that you were the one that was working out. People are going to remember that you're the one that was posting about your workouts, or you're the one that hit them up, and that you actually have results, right? So you guys really, really just buckle down for these next couple of weeks. Christmas is 1 day. New Year's is 1 day. There might be leftovers, which might last 2 days. So that might be 5 days out this next 31-day period, right? But you still got another 26 that you can get results off of. And I'm actually talking to a client right now. It's funny. And she was like, oh, I didn't want to get started on my products because I'm going out of town. And mind you, we talked on November 14th. So I haven't been able to get in contact with her. She finally texted me back today and was like, oh, I didn't get started because I'm going out of town in a couple of weeks. And I was like, yo, you ever heard of the compound effect? And she's like, nah, what's that? So, of course, the compound effect is, doing the small things over time will lead to better results. So if you continue to use the products and eat right and do the right things, even if you do go out of town, your results aren't going to be, like, really bad, okay? So it's the same thing for these next upcoming weeks. Like, we've really got to buckle down. That way the people that are coming, they're going to remember. Also, our clients. So the clients that we have currently, if we don't maintain our results, or if we're falling off our nutrition plans, then we can't really check them. It's like Marcuse said, like, I'm having a hard time losing weight. Like, I know, like, you're going to agree with them versus like, nah, like, you can still buckle down. You can still drop down and do 50 push-ups like PLR does randomly every single day, right? So you can still like buckle down and do whatever it is you got to do and use the products. It makes it simpler. It makes it easier. And what I found out, like, the more people I'm talking to recently, more people are meal skippers. So even if you get somebody to just recommit to like making sure they're maintaining your results over the next couple of weeks, like doing 1 shake a day, right? That's one of the ways I've gotten like maybe 2 or 3 of my clients to just stick with the plan, because they're like, yo, I'm not doing 2 shakes right now for whatever reason. I'm like, yo, just do your shake for breakfast. As that way you're at least maintaining your results. and then eat a sensible meal. Okay. And then remember, Kay and I were talking about this earlier, was like confidence in your results. So let's say you lose another 2 pounds over the course of 2 weeks, or let's say you put on 2 pounds, whatever, and you do whatever your goal is. Like, your confidence in those results is going to be what you're talking to people about. Your confidence in those results is what's going to help you maintain or retain those clients as you're reaching out to them. And I'm actually going to have Trey sharing a little bit about how he targets people online. So that way you guys can get some understanding and some scripts of how he actually does it, right? So when you're targeting people online, it could be somebody that's just like you, right? Or it could be like a woman, or it could be just men. It's up to you, however you want to do it. And it's the same way when you're a person. When I used to go do invitations or flyers, like, I had a certain criteria person I would talk to. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If somebody was super overweight, I would be scared to reach out to them. And this is when I used to flyer. I would be scared to reach. I would be scared to give them a flyer, because I would feel like they would think that I was calling them fat. And that wasn't my intention when going out. My intention was to help and educate. My intention wasn't to actually make somebody feel bad about themselves. So I found out different tricks and ways in order to talk to those people. Like, if somebody's overweight, super overweight, then I just talk to them about like their joints, or I'm like, yo, do your knees hurt? And most of the time they're like, yeah. And I'm like, you know why your knees hurt? And they be like, man, I just need to get some of this weight off of me. I'm like, well, I can help you out with that. So it was a way to lead into the conversation. And we do the same thing online, right? We do the same thing online. We do the same thing with our pages, but we have to pick our target of what it is. So for me, for example, my target market is people who are Greek, which HBCU Greek, not like from Greece. It doesn't have to be HBCU. Sorry. It could be from any college, right? Greek, or people who are like athletic. I'm really looking for more people who are like trainers. And the reason is because I actually want to recruit trainers. I found that it's harder to recruit trainers than anybody else because they're stubborn. Pilar was just the exception. They're stubborn, but like, once you get somebody like that into the business, like, because most trainers actually at some point wanted to help people, whether that got transitioned into them wanting to make more money now or whatever it is, or meet their quota. At one point, the goal was for them to help people. So I'm trying to get back to that point and bring them into this and show them how it's possible, right? So I wanted to open up the call. I wanted to have anybody share any wins from last month, or anything that they're liking about the way that the chats are going. Anybody. So this is gonna be for wins for the past month, wins for the chats. Anything you're more happy about, anything you're more confident about, and it doesn't have to necessarily be about just Herbalife, but something that maybe is making your Herbalife business better too. All right. So I'm opening up for that. Go ahead.
I'll go.
Thank you.
All right, so Herbalife in the DMV. So I got started in this year, actually, JKO 2018. But my win is Herbalife related. So as some of you may know, my struggle initially, which I actually didn't know, was wellness evaluations. So one of the things that my wellness evaluation script is pretty much the same. I didn't change that. I just changed how I send out the information for them to actually get their products. And it was a huge win for me. So Martinica is actually the person who mentioned recommending carts. And she mentioned it for a totally different reason, but I've been using it ever since. So now when I get someone who's interested, I actually just send them my link. I show them how to join the loyal customer program. And then what I do is I actually text them to say, hey, once you're done, let me know so I can actually send you your plan. So recommending the cart has been like super simple for me because I've lost clients simply because they might go on my site or they might use a laptop or something, type in the Herbalife site, then they don't order from me. So I miss out. Whereas with the recommended cart, they click on it, it goes directly back to the page where they initially registered. So that was a win for me because it's just helping me actually get the clients that I'm talking to.
That's dope. That's dope. I like that too. Thank you, Nika. Thank you, Herbalife. Her name is Pilar, y'all, by the way. Government name. So recommended cart, you guys. I'm actually gonna share my screen real quick so I can show you. Boom. So you come on here, and on this left-hand side, you're gonna see somewhere where it says customers, okay? And when you come over to engagement and retention, you can click recommend a cart. So once you click recommend a cart, you can actually create a new cart specifically for that person, or you can create a card and name it that person's name. So what I do, I have a couple different cards on here. Like, and this is just after the once evaluation that I've created these. Okay. Actually, this one's really cool. So travel, right? So I have a whole bunch, actually I have a whole bunch of flight attendants who are clients. So I put the Formula One Express meal bars in here. And then I put the cookies and cream shake for when they're home. And then a tea, aloe, tabs, things of that nature. We got a performance cart, which is just, pre-workout, post-workout. Somebody says they want to try it. This happens. This is like really rare that I send this one, and then that way what happens is I get a chance to, give that person what it is that they need versus like, sometimes like the ultimate, the advanced, and the basic program. That is what I send out for the most part. But then every once in a while, when I have somebody who wants to gain weight, or have somebody who wants to get the ultimate plan plus a rebuild strength, or when I'm talking to them, I did a once evaluation today with somebody and they were having an issue with like their spine. I use joint support. I recommend Joint Support Herbal Lifeline. So I told them I'll recommend a cart for you, versus me telling them to go on my site and actually do that. Okay. So that was like, that's how you can recommend a cart to somebody. All you need is their email, and put their full name so you can recommend that cart to them. Cassie, you have your hand up?
Yes, I did. I've tried to use the recommended cart, but it only pull up if I have a PM or for my distributor. It wouldn't let me send cart to clients.
All right,
So what
cool.
am I doing wrong?
So let me show you. So I'll share the screen again. Share. All right. So the difference of what you did, I believe, and what this is like, all right. So let's say I go to shop, healthy weight, and I'm putting together something on here, right? So say I added cookies and cream. It's going to ask me for an address. Boom, boom, boom. Don't allow. All right. I was going to put a random name, right? So this is what I think you did. I think that you created a cart and then you selected address. Come on. Next screen. All right. And then when it got to, come on, add the thing to cart. Proceed to checkout. All right. Oh, wait. It's a shopping cart. So you're going to view the shopping cart, right? So you guys, if you want to recommend a cart to your preferred members, this is how you would actually do it. And you click recommend a cart here. And I can recommend a cart to everybody that's in my front line. Okay? And that includes distributors. All right? I think that's what you did, Kay. The difference with what I just mentioned was instead of going to shop and putting a cart together, you go to customers and recommend a cart. Okay? This way you can email it to anybody. And then when you click here, create a cart, you can name it. So let's say I name this one K. Add a product, I could put cookies, and then it's going to pull up anything with cookies in the name, right? If I want to put 2 in here, I could update it, whatever, and I could continue creating and put whatever products I want into this cart. That's the difference with recommending a cart versus creating a cart and then recommend it to your preferred members. That makes sense? All right, perfect. Thank you, Pilar. Thank you, Kay, for the question. Anybody else? Any wins? Going once. Janessa says she about to do that. See, Kay? Hey, like the teachers always say, ain't no stupid questions. All right. And look at that. And that all came from Nika saying recommended cart and wasn't even talking to Pilar. That's funny. All right. Anybody else? Any wins? Going once.
All right. It's your boy Trey. Theater Chapman, the third world team on the way to get team. I was giving everybody a chance. My major win last month was I had a supervisor go to our first event, Essence. So that was a major win. Everything's just going amazing. I mean, other than that,
And she had the last cut of DAP.
Yeah, she had last cut of DAP. That was a major win also. So
that boy got extra 2,500 documented bonus points towards VIP.
Yeah, man, all these wins just transpiring from one after the other. So, I'm grateful.
Perfect. Appreciate that, Trey.
Oh, and I started my new book, 360-Degree Leader.
How you like it? What are you getting from it?
I like it a lot, honestly. I like 10x rule better. But I'm still applying 10x rule to this day. But 360-degree leader, what is and it's funny, somebody else asked me this the other day. Basically teaching you about, like, we have a lot of people have this notion like we have to be in a certain place to do certain things. So like I feel like I have to be like middle team or press team to do certain things. But in order to get the press team, I have to do those things beforehand. And people don't realize once you get to that space, it doesn't become easier. It's actually more to do when you have that because you have more responsibility. And that goes from leading up, leading down, and leading where you're at. So no matter where your leadership is placed at, you have to exude your power and you have to add value to whatever you're doing, no matter if it's up, below, or helping your leader. And also helps with time management. Like if you're like this call, like don't like definitely like add value to your leader and don't just like for the sake of, hey, what's up, how your day going? And like that's cool, but also don't forget like what you came to that meeting for, what you came to talk to your leader about for. So know that your leader's time is very valuable and also help them as best way they can. So I'm learning a lot.
Appreciate that, Trey.
Oh, my one thing, because I shared in the group, but I didn't share. Knowing your business partner's weakness and strength is a skill. So
It definitely is. So when I first actually listened to that book when I first got started Herbalife, and I didn't apply everything. Of course, like I don't know if we ever apply everything we read at first. But I wasn't really paying attention to people's strengths and weaknesses when I first got started with the book. I focused on like what you said in the first part was like helping like lead from the front with my personal like production, but then also leading like, helping out my sidelines and helping out my upline and uplines and then helping out, downline and stuff like that. But then recognize strength and weaknesses, like that's like a ever evolving skill. I could say it's ever evolving skill. So when I see people that actually do it really well, like I'm watching them. Like you guys, I think almost everybody on here knows. I think that how like I be watching like Ronald Sanchez, because this dude's like a Jedi. Like this dude be like, "You want to do 2,500?" And I'd be like, "How do you talk to them about that like that?" Like one girl was saying, I remember I was listening to him. I'd be like eavesdropping. So he was talking to somebody else at one of the meetings at one of the STSs, and she was just saying, I really don't want to do the business. So, I just like having extra shopping money. He was like, what's going to get you more shopping money? She was like, well, he's like doing your 2,500. She was like, that will get me more shopping money. I'm like, bruh, he just flipped that joint so smooth. There was a way he did, like, I tried to do it, and it sounded like I was trying to get somebody to do 2,500. He didn't. He made it sound like she would want to do the 2,500. And I'm like, when you get to that level, but it wasn't so much about the 2,500. It was more so like the way he got her to realize what her goal was, and then wrap around like how like he can help her and how she can help herself do more. So that was really dope. All right. So anybody else with any wins? Thank you, Trey. Going once. Going twice. Sold. All right, cool.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
My bad. I was trying to unmute myself. Can y'all hear me?
You trying to get used to that iPhone?
Yo, man, my fingers are too fat, but I'm getting used to it though. But I got a couple of wins. So I got back into doing some things that I like doing. And it's been real releasing. So yoga, actually connecting with like students on the level I want to connect with beyond just like work and like what we're required to do statewide. Getting more involved and just being more of service in places that I can. It's really cool being back in the church, connecting with family. Me and my moms, we get our nails done together now sometimes. So just like the little stuff, man, that make you smile. So just doing stuff for me, and it's going to translate in every other arena. So just being more happy last month.
That's dope, Lance. I ain't gonna lie, that getting your nails done with your mom joint, that joint right here, where my heart at. That joint hit me right here. Hey y'all, I just finished bis and like arms. My arms are sore. Yeah, man, that hit me right here because I like been talking about like just being able to visit my mom more often, and I can't wait till I get to that point where I can just hop on a plane with my family, right? Like with Sam, like I can go by myself. But I don't want to just go by myself, like, or just buy her a plane ticket to come up. Her and Chris a plane ticket to come up. So I definitely get that. And we used to get our nails done all the time too. So definitely get that. All right, cool. Yeah, spirit fingers. Okay. So I wanted to give Trey Trey's gonna have about 10 minutes. And he's gonna talk about like how he targets his audience, and then reaches out to them or connects with them to get them to a place for ordering. He's not gonna go through everything as far as like, following and how many posts he does or why he posts so much, but he's gonna go more into like how he targets people. So you guys, if you want to ask him more about what he does, you'll have an opportunity on this call to ask too. So I'm gonna give it up to Trey. Theodore Chaplin III, next active world team member.
You're going, everybody. It's your boy Trey, Theodore Chaplin III, Conway, South Carolina, 843. World team on the way to get team, feeling amazing. Down over 84 pounds. I'm up 25 pounds of lean muscle, and results getting crazier by the day because I'm dedicated December. But yeah, so what we're going to start with, like you said, I'm not going to go into every single thing, but I am going to talk about language. Languaging is very, very important. So let's start with, let's say like, it's a numbers game, really, really. So like when you're doing these things and the things that you're doing now, realize like the number that you're targeting every day has a lot to do with your production. So like for me, I base everything on me, but also I teach the team's methods along with it. So like I'm reaching out to at least, between 20 to 60 people a day. Everybody knows the standards like 20, like Mark Hughes says, 10 product presentations, 10 business presentations, So whatever your gauge is, whatever your number is, just understand that's why your volume is looking how it looks, because those are the numbers that they're hitting, and really know, like if you're hitting 10, 20 people, whatever the case may be, that's how your volume is going to look by the end of the month. So don't think like what you're doing isn't working or is working like perfectly. Just understand that whatever the number that the capacity you're doing it at is you're going to be your production. So typically, I get my daily method of operation is social media and inviting to wellness evaluations. That's my thing. I know it works, and I just keep doing it because it works. So typically, my main method is chasing likes. I typically get a lot of likes on my posts because I post a lot. So you post a lot, you're gonna get a lot of likes, because the more likes you have, the more people you can talk to. So that adds fuel, whether you do face-to-face or anything like that, that is another way to interact with people. So when I interact with them, I'm like, hey, what's up? How are you? Thank you for liking my post. I really appreciate it. And then they were going to respond back. Do not do a presentation and an invitation all in one. It's separate. Thank you for liking my post. Boom, boom, boom. I really appreciate it. Then they're going to say, oh, you're welcome. I like the results. I like something you're doing. I'll say, cool. I most definitely appreciate it. Would you be interested in trying my program and support my business? The reason why I say that is because I don't want to be like, oh, you want to lose some weight? Because I don't want to offend anybody. But typically, if they're liking my post, they like something that I'm doing or something that I'm a part of. So that's why I say, would you be interested in supporting me by allowing me to help you? And most of these scripts that I'm going to go over, I'm going to drop them in the group. So you don't like, you can write it down, but I'm also going to drop it in the chat too also as we follow along. So that's one of my main ways. And then when they say no, I say thank you for your time. And normally I'll shoot them the Biz USA link, and I'll be like, feel free to check out this link. And then that's not yet. They'll come back whenever. Somebody says, yeah, sure. Or what's your program? I say, perfect. May I please get your number? Get their number, shoot them like, normally I do text. But if you want to talk or text, that's up to you. Just understand, like with texting, I had to work on texting for about 4 months at least before I got really, really a good structure with texting. But talking, people can really hear you, feel your passion for the products. So that's why we typically teach people to talk on the phone and do the wellness evaluation that way. So just understand, like, if you're going to do the wellness evaluation on the phone, it's not going to be the same through texting. But we teach on the phone because that's easily duplicatable, and people can understand where you're coming from and how passionate you are. So shoot them a text and be like, hey, when are you free to talk? Or when are you free to text, whichever one they're more comfortable with. but you definitely want to push the conversation to talking on the phone. And then from there, you do the wellness evaluation. And the wellness evaluation, are you serious? Are you curious? That's first to find out if they're serious and ready to get started. So with the wellness evaluation, I always say, are you serious? Are you serious about reaching your fitness goals, or are you serious? Are you curious? If they say, well, I'm just curious, or I just want to know what it is, typically I say, okay, cool. Well, it's Herbalife Nutrition. I have a little script for that, and I shoot them a picture. But also, if it's on the phone, I say, yo, what's Herbalife Nutrition? Nutritional supplements, make convenience feed your body properly. And then I'll say, I have a call on Wednesday. I invite them to HOM that I can invite you on, and you can hear about everything that I'm doing and what it's all about. Because typically they're not really serious. They say, well, I'm just curious. I just want to know what it is, So then I'll invite them to HOM, and I let the HOM, which is Herbalife Opportunity Meeting, I'll let that do the talking for me versus me just going like rambling and talking to them just out of nowhere, just carrying on conversation with nobody getting started. Typically, I target anyone. Definitely, like he said, Greek. I definitely target a lot of Greeks, only because that's just like I'm down to help anyone. But I just noticed that a lot of Greeks are easier for me to bring in, and also mostly females, because more females are more concerned about how they look in their appearance, so they're more likely to get started. So that way, when I target them, like it's typically the same, and I typically know I'm gonna get them started. With males, sometimes I battle like the whole ego thing, like, oh, I know what I'm doing, or nah, bro, I'm good, But if they are hungry and they want to get started, I always go to my results because I know I'm like my results are dope, and I know like if you want to lose weight, like I've lost weight, so this is about to be an easy person to get started. So typically that's my target audience. So I present it to everyone. So present the opportunity to everyone because you never know who wants to lose weight, gain weight, feel better, or business opportunity. So I present it to everybody. But my target typically is like Greeks, college students typically, and females. And the reason for college students is because a lot of typically in like colleges, people want to fit in, at that level. So it's like they really want to have that body that everybody wants to have, or they want to have something that everybody doesn't have. So that's why I typically target them too. And really people just who are like really into like their appearance, because people are posting about it all the time. Like they're posting about how like, oh, if I had this or I want to lose that, and all these so they're always posting about like, it's funny memes. They're like, oh well, I don't have a flat stomach and stuff. Like that's like them saying like they want to lose weight. And you don't have to like say like, oh, you want to lose weight. You can simply shoot them a message like, what's up? Like if you're serious, I'm actually looking to help some more people, and I would love for you to allow me to help you. Bring it back to them like, hey, I don't know if you're serious or not, but if you are, I would love to help you if you allow me to. So languaging is very important. And also too, whenever I talk to them, I stay away from words like so, well, or or oh well, because you gotta think about that's kind of like, to me, that's like aggressive, like you're trying to make me feel like I'm stupid or like I'm slow, like I don't like, oh well, I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, would you, did you know, or would you know, or would you allow me to? Allow me to is a big word, because if they allow you to, they're like, oh, okay, well, he's not coming on too aggressive, but he just wants to help me. So just make sure that they know that you're doing this for them and not for you. So that's what it's attached to. And did you want to cover any more things or take any more questions?
I think that if you have any questions for Trey, just write them down real quick because I wanted to go over a couple of things that you mentioned. So I remember I saw this post. Can y'all see this? I'll read it. But I posted this on my story. It said, whoever got my voodoo doll, take some stuffing out the stomach part. Yo, y'all don't know how many. I posted on my story and had so many people reply to it. And every time somebody replied to it, I was like, I got something. I can beat a voodoo. I could take the stuffing out. I got something I got the cure. Yo, I'm hitting people with like all types of different stuff. And I'm getting conversations off of it though. Right? I got another post. Like every day, I don't know if you guys look at my page, but I post something that has to do something like just something funny. I got this one was like him, is your stomach flat? And then me, yeah, but the L is silent. I had a whole bunch of people that like hit me up off of that one, was laughing at. I'm like, yo, I can help you get that stomach flat for real. because like that's who I am. Like I'm a joke person. But my languaging, like Trey said, isn't that I'm coming off too strong. So whenever I'm typing, it's almost like that video, like that little meme where it's like they start to send a message, then they delete it, then they type another message, then delete it, then they type another message, then they delete it, because I want to make sure that what I'm saying is coming off the way that I want it to be like received, right? So it's not about exactly what we say, but sometimes it's about how it can be received from this person. So I know Melcon probably knows this already, but when I'm texting females, like I bring up Shayla, I bring up my wife a lot. I'm like, yeah, my wife got results like what you want. Because I'm letting them know, like, straight off the bat, like, I am not trying to holler at you, right? I'm not trying to, like, I didn't like any of your club pictures. I liked your workout pictures, all right? So that way, it's like there's no in-betweens, there's no gray area, no ifs, ands, or buts, because now my languaging and what I've shown you is that I'm actually going to help you out. I'm not trying to talk to you, not at all. I think, for example, Pilar. People are like, I hate when married dudes slide into my DMs. I was like, don't you hate that? That's how we started talking. That's how we started communicating, off of a DM about married guys hitting her up in her DMs, and I hit her up in her DMs. But she knew that I wasn't trying to talk to her because I brought up Shayla and I brought up being in a relationship, and I always kept it wrapped around workouts and Herbalife, right? And I always targeted what she actually liked, which was the workout portion of it. So that way you can make sure that when you're talking to people, like, and even though you do that, you're still going to have those people who are going to be trying to hit you up and be trying to talk to you. But those people, you could just block them. Like, I hope you have a nice life. Here's my BizWorks video, but you're blocked. So that way you can make sure that you're keeping yourself right. You're keeping yourself together. And as far as like the languaging and things of that nature, I appreciate you saying that, Trey, about would you allow me to share this with you? Because one of the things that I always ask people is like, can I tell you about my programs, right? My Herbalife programs. So that way they know, like, I'm asking them for their permission to go into what the program is instead of me just going into the program. And then sometimes you get to the end of the once evaluation, they're like, well, I wasn't really trying to do Herbalife or anything like that. I'm done. Like, if I ask you for you wanted to hear about the programs, this is giving you the opportunity to tell me, like, no, you're not really interested, or yes, like, I want to hear more about it so I can actually make an educated decision. Okay. Did anybody have any questions for Trey and how to target marketing and things of that nature?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So just to clarify, Trey, when you were talking about like numbers game and you were saying like you talked about 20 to 60 people a day. So on average, how many people are you actually like face-to-face, get on the phone with, talk to, opposed to just sending out messages?
When I send out the message, typically when I send out like 100 or so, then it may fall more towards a 60. But if it's less, then it's going to fall more towards a 20. So that range, I keep going and sending messages until I fall within that range of them either writing back or even opening it, But it's not like sending out 20 messages and, oh, I'm good. No, because, if you send out 20 messages, obviously you might get like 2 people to text you back. But I know by sending out 40, 60 messages, I'm going to interact with up to close to 20 people baseline, And typically that's what my likes. I'm big on polls, you know what I'm saying? Like getting those people on polls on Instagram. That's my main source. So you want to gauge like how many people you're interacting with and how many messages you're sending out. Because the less messages you send out, the less likely you're going to interact with someone. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
Is that for Trey K? I think Kay asked Trey, how do you handle people who follow your story constantly but don't respond to any of your messages?
Oh, perfect. So with my poll, and this is a great thing too. With my poll, before I used to put up polls all the time, and like 40 people would like it, and I'm messaging them like, "Oh, my bad," and it's like nobody has started. So what I started doing is I started circling the poll so they see it, so that way everybody who is interested likes it. I don't know if y'all noticed or not. I put like a message at the top and I circle it because I'm like, Once I did that, I was like, never again, never again. So I circle it with like a color, like whatever the color is I'm using that day or whatever, I'll circle it so they'll like it. The people, so that way I'm targeting those people. But if I do message them, oh, also too, there's a way you can send the post to the person with the arrow and send a message in there too. But if I send the message and they don't write back, I may go back like throughout the day. I'll go back and see if they, because it says red under it. If they say red, I'll put something like queen or fam or something like that a second time. Because some people, believe it or not, some people really read a message and they really think they reply. They reply in their head, so they really don't know they didn't reply. And he be like, "Oh, my bad," or she might be like, "Oh, my bad, girl, I didn't see you wrote." You know, like I thought I replied back. So it's just about follow up with that. You just got to follow up with them and just make sure, you know, or maybe they just got busy. Like they could have read your message and they could have got called into a meeting or something like that, so they didn't reply back, you know. So you just want to follow up. And typically after that, they don't write back. I just leave it alone because by the second time, like I know, like you just not really trying to get started right now, but it's fine.
Okay, and then appreciate that, Trey. And another thing too you can do is interacting with people on their page and their story. So I do that a lot. Actually, I spend more time doing that than reaching out to people, interacting with the people. Like I'm hitting them up, but then I'm going to their page. I'm looking through their stuff. Like I might have got to scroll to like 2 years ago, 2016, and find a workout post. Y'all, I will not like somebody's club post. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm looking for like a workout post from some time previous, even if it's a sporting event from when you was in the 7th grade. I'm gonna find that joint, and that's the one I'm gonna like and comment on. Like, oh, you must have been fast if it was like a track picture. I did that last week, and then I'm looking at their story and seeing if there's anything I can comment on, in their story, and that's gonna like open up that conversation. Because remember, the thing about social media, it's like a farming ground, right? So you're farming a relationship with somebody on there. And how do you build a relationship is like through having a conversation. So sometimes when the conversation is let in with like, hey, do you want to get in better shape? That's not good soil. But if you hit somebody up about something that they posted on their story or something they posted on their page, then you can have a better conversation. And I get a lot of people who accidentally like my poll too. I told Trey about this earlier. So I actually got this from Shayla. If she puts a post up with the poll, she messages everybody who saw that post. And most of the people are like, oh, I didn't even realize I voted. She don't care if you voted or not. She hitting you up. And she'd be like, oh, well, I guess you might not have voted on it, but do you have any goals you're trying to hit anyways? Because she's like, yo, I'm gonna have this conversation regardless if you want to have the conversation or not. But that's just how she does it because she is at work for 8 hours a day, so she may not get 10 people who like a poll, but she can get 100 and some people that saw it. So out of those numbers, she's gonna get somebody that has a response. I think I saw Janessa had a question. Oh, can you list the words you suggest not using?
Yeah.
Really?
I love it.
Go ahead, Trey.
No, you go ahead, bro.
All right. So really, Janessa, I hope I'm saying your name right. But really what I would say is that when you're messaging somebody, like think about like how would I take this? And not how would I take this now that I've been on my Herbalife plan, but how would I take this as somebody who hasn't got started yet and wasn't even interested yet? And
yeah.
that's how I look at like my conversations with people, even in person, is like how would I take this? Like, so would I be upset about this? Would I take this personally? And then I kind of adjust it according to that.
And to add that, Theo, that's perfect. I'm gonna put the words I put in there in the chat. Like I said, I'm gonna put these in the chat also. But like so is like so you don't, you know, like you gonna think like, well, dang, like I didn't know, my bad, you know, or oh well. I'm trying to think what was it? Oh, you didn't know, like you know, like basically like what Theo says all the time. Don't make any. Basically, what it all boils down to, don't make anybody wrong. If they don't know, they don't know. If they're not interested, they're not interested. You can't make them wrong. I mean, it's not our fault that they're not educated, you know?
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, cool. And now, if there's no more questions, we're going to transition to the last thing I wanted to actually speak about, which was closing out the year, making sure that you get into the events and then getting people to the events with you for the rest of the year. So how can I put this? Boom. All right. So I like the way that G always explains this. The events are, you're like, each one of us is like this nice TV that's on the wall. It's like got 4D. Like you can jump into the TV and be into the movie, and you can have all the experiences. Like it's like having a VR, right? But if you don't go to the event, it's like having that TV and not having it plugged in or not having a power source, right? So what'll happen is over time, all it's gonna do is collect dust, and it's gonna get worse and worse and worse, right? So getting to the events is like being plugged into the power source because you always get that recharge, right? You're gonna always get that recharge. So what happens is the next thing is bringing people to the event with you. So that's like adding like the HBO package or adding like the Stars package, right? Because the more people that you get to the event, you never know what person is going to be that is going to want to change their life. Not which person is going to be that's going to be your next supervisor, not which person is going to be that's going to be your next tab member, not which person is going to be helps you get the press team, but the person that's going to take it upon themselves that wants to change their life. Because that's all it takes is somebody wanting to make a change for themselves. People aren't going to come to the event and make that choice to change based on you. They're going to make that choice to change based on themselves. All it is that we got to do is bring people to the events, right? Melquan, for example, Trey was like, yo, either you can come get this $97 or I'm going to spend it on a pair of sneakers. Melquan was like, got into the whip, brought the laptop to him, signed him up, but Trey really wasn't doing anything. Melquan was doing his job, and he was like, yo, we got an event, and you got to come to this event. I don't know what exact words were said. You know, those two, they know each other. It could have been jokes. It could have been like, yo, so you just not going to come to this event? Why don't you just get in the car with me, and I'm going to take you to free breakfast? And then Trey ended up I don't know what happened. But he got there, and then he decided for himself, like, I can do this. Right? Something along those lines, right, Melquan? I'm just taking guess. But Melquan haircut is sharp, y'all. I don't know if y'all see it, but that boy is sharp. That thing is lined up. Anyways, so that's what it is. Like every time you get somebody new to the event, they get to make the choice for themselves whether or not they want to change. They get to make the choice for themselves whether or not they want to invite people or bring people into this thing with us. But the only way that happens is by getting to the event yourself first, right? Getting to the event yourself. And then bringing people with you. So making sure that you, of course, have your tickets, making sure that you, of course, have your events blocked off, making sure that you have, your hotel room if you're going to need a hotel room, or Airbnb if you're going to get an Airbnb, because the events are that important, right? It's going to lead us into next year in 2019, whatever goals that we have set for the year. It's all going to come based on the events. It's all going to come based on how many people we get to the events, okay? So depending on your goal of how much money you want to make, depending on your goal of how many people you want to help, make sure that you get in contact with your upline, so that way you can figure out how many people you need to have at the events to make that certain amount that you're trying to make. All right. So that's it for this call for this month. I'm going to post in the group to see when the next good week is in January for the focus group of next week. Be quiet, Jake. So we have all this month. We have about how many days left in this month? 27 days left in this month. Right? We got 20. I don't know if y'all having a conversation or if you just laughing because I said there's 30-something days left in this month. Nah, I was trying to. All right, 27 days left in this month, right? So, like, we have the opportunity to close out this month. What I want to tell you guys, what I want to have you guys recognize is, like, it's easier to get people to commit to the event, right? I mean, commit to their programs right now, right? It's easier to get them to commit right now. That 5 days right before Christmas, people are not thinking about their nutrition plans, right? But between the 27th and the 31st, a lot of people are thinking about their January 1st resolution goals. But if you close out your month right now, then it makes it so much easier come the last day of the month, come the last day of the year, right? Come New Year, your New Year's resolution, okay? So that's what I want to end the call with you guys. Is like it's still 27 days left in this month. I'm already thinking about stuff I want to put on my vision board. Because like I'm like 2019, this organization is definitely going to press team. Right? The organization is definitely going to press team, but we just got to bring the people to the event. That's all it's going to take is just bringing the people with us. So you guys, this closes out our first focus group. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Let me hear you.
What about my picture?
Oh, your picture.
Yeah, we kind of deep tonight, Bo.
Love y'all, man. Appreciate
Hold on.
the time.
We got to take a picture. Hey,
Trey,
anybody wants to?
yo, thank you, Theo.
Oh, appreciate it. Anybody wants to unmute their screen real quick? Man, all right. Hold on.
We're gonna do the countdown.
All right. In 3, 2, unmute your screens. 1, go.
Hey.
All right, we go. Nah, hold on. We got time to go crazy? Hold on. Command Shift 4. Everybody go crazy. Ah! I just scared my son.